Всем привет, друзья, и мы продолжаем играть в God of War Ragnarök. И мы остановились на моменте, где освободили вторую Хавгуфу, и она, или он, вместе с предыдущей Хавгуфой создали потомство. То есть все это на небе, это потомство их. И выглядит довольно красиво и симпатично. Ой, не так кнопка.
Statue of my brother. How quaint.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
What purpose does all this serve, other than a testament to my brother's vanity?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument, one that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freyya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truth through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
Так. Надо вспомнить, что тут делать вообще.
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
Блин. Лучше его отнести на ту сторону сначала. А камень, который внизу остался, отнести сюда. Ну что-то жалко, не может ускоряться с этим камнем. Я думаю, для него это как, не знаю, для меня палку в руки взять. Ни о чем.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
That did. The ring of crystal shards glowed.
Looks like we can
Even
read
when
the
Freyja was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it
Light from the
last.
crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
Anything interesting, brother?
Томатом отбирается. Хорошо.
A light elf statue in the desert. Odd.
Aye. Fair bet this is the sanctum Big Deer spoke of in Van Eye.
Помню, это место искал довольно долго. Постоянно не понимал, куда нужно идти.
A fair question.
With no clear answer.
Нужно поддать жару. Насколько я помню. А, все, понял. Блять.
Jewelry.
Oh? Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off.
No.
An elven library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the light elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure.
Here.
Под страхом смертной казни запрещается выносить книги за предел библиотеки. Ебать. Нормально.
These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War. But restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye, quite the advantage for the Light Elves.
This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. The consul.
Big Bear spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors, their shared history and poetry, just sitting here. What a waste.
Надо было задание написать, попробуйте покинуть библиотеку. Тогда бы игрок задумался, в смысле, что за хуйня.
What's that?
A diagram for a sword hilt.
Perhaps we should show it to one of the dwarves. They'll know what to do with it. Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Framborg.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Shield strike now!
Как она ебать дэмэджи? Да почему, блядь? Сука, я же увернулся. Как я должен уворачиваться дальше, не знаю. Ой. Ну пиздец. Меня вообще бесит, когда просто на пустом месте, на пустом абсолютно месте, босс просто хуй клал на твои удары. У него просто появляется вот эта вот неуязвимость. Блять, как интересно играть. Пиздец просто. Шикарно. Давай, шлюха тупорылая. Разъебу без всяких, блядь, усилений, навыков. Красиво, блядь, хотел подраться. Просто я хотел показать, что я могу разъебать ее вообще без всяких проблем, блядь. Потому что она не враг, а просто хуйня. Никакого навыка, нихуя не сделал. Все, отдыхай.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
Our ally wishes to read this journal. We are taking the book.
Я стараюсь проходить сейчас, драться красиво. Получается не очень. И все, и включаю серьезного, разматываю без всяких проблем.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
Ever written poetry of your own, brother?
No.
Well, ask a stupid question.
Где-то еще один ворон есть.
What is that?
Блять.
Rogue magic! For the runic form!
Bloody hell! Look at that thing!
It's vulnerable when it glows!
Brother, the spikes! Hurry!
That's it!
А где третий? Мне заранее знать.
The alpha!
Close in! Attack!
Now! Attack! The alpha!
Воу. А, вот он.
Well, yet another gift of Fimbulwinter, I suppose.
The magic draining out of all of us has to end up somewhere.
Да какого, блядь? Так, я понял. Каждый раз прохожу, каждый раз здесь я начинаю тупить.
Perhaps we can bring these cute animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Svanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. It just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough.
Э. Так, ладно, кажется, понял. Нет, не понял. Блядь. Меня бесить начинает. Ну так, значит, наверное. Нет, хуйня какая-то получается. Боже, тоже здесь постоянно туплю, сука. Я просто ненавижу. Я проходил это уже 2 раза. Почему я, блядь, не могу понять, что делать дальше? Твою мать. Почему-то эта логика меня не настигла. Ну, то есть настигла, но не сразу.
Come on, brother. Let's have it.
О,
You mentioned you had a favorite place in your homeland.
сука.
What's it about?
A cunning general. A war over focus and love.
I believe I've heard of this one. Did it involve a horse that was not as it appeared?
Yes. But that is not what happened.
Oh, it's based on truth then. And you were there.
Yes. I prefer the poem.
Another key, eh? Sooner or later, we're gonna have to find a lock to put them in.
Ключи нашли.
Freya. Here.
A dawn bloom. You have an interest in botanicals now?
You never do seem to get rid of those things.
Так, я помню, как-то пробудить можно эту херню все. Реликвия.
Something's happening to that troll, brother. It's broken free.
Жалко, у меча нет никаких добиваний.
Noticed it woke up right after you used that one relic we pilfered. I smell a connection. Don't forget to grab what they dropped. I bet the dwarves could make some armor out of it. This mentions a spell that puts trolls to sleep, and a magic relic that acts as a sort of counter spell. It's about waking the trolls with a relic. Well, we already figured that out for ourselves, didn't we?
Почему? Ты, блядь. Ладно.
Mimir, I never asked how it felt to lose your head.
What would you have me say? That it tickled?
Merely curious.
If you wish to derive some satisfaction from my pain, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Kratos swung swift and true, didn't you, brother? I felt nary a scratch.
Shame.
Твою мать.
Light orb incoming!
A token.
The elves made a few of these. They'd hang them up outside their dwellings. Show their support for the
Конечно, он успел ударить, блядь. Как? Куда, сука, без этого?
Left side, Kratos!
Чего? Блядь. Да я же... Блядь, как мне это заебло уже, господи. Нажал же на ворот. Хотел оружие поменять, отвлекся, блядь, называется. Сразу пизды получил. И как мне сейчас дверь открывать? У меня жизни нету. По ебучке сейчас славлю. И все. Ладно, пофиг.
and it's not happy.
man. You've got this.
Блядь, да в этом ударе не должен проходить урон. Я сейчас сгорю нахуй, блядство ебучее. Блядь, файты уебищные, сука, как мне это бесит. Фу, пиздец. Какому-то, блядь, бездарному, сука, проиграл. Ни к чему, шо, ебаный в рот, нахуй. Не могу не гореть, блядь. Ля, придурок, ты чё, еблан? Я забыл, что он бьет второй раз. Где второй удар, свинья? Да, он телепортировался, блядь. Все, задушил падлу. Забил одним топором, блядь. Отдыхай.
Was a great doing back there.
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a grave. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now.
Да, нахуй этого ящера. Как ты пролетел, блядь? Ты чё, ёбнулся? А. Странно, что он не ломался нормально. Ух, сука. Ладно. В сундуке Норн где-то еще остался один сундук. Не знаю, где он, но я вижу ворона.
Do you regret it, Mimir?
Most likely. What are we talking about in particular?
Giving up your body?
I regret exchanging my life for my freedom? That's a question I ask myself every day, my lady.
What about today?
Today? Glad to be
Да
out in the world.
как я так идеально прищаю эти ебучие бочки? Боже. Вот.
Okay, okay.
Freya, you were speaking of your brother after he was burned by the Aesir mob.
Yes. It haunted him for a long time. It doesn't excuse what he said at my wedding, but I do understand where his anger came from.
Меня интересует сундук Норн. Но я в душе не чаю, где они, где он.
Freya, there's something I've always wanted to ask. What was it Hrimthur whispered to you?
Who?
Hrimthur, the son of Thormur, the stonemason, who disguised himself and built Asgard's wall.
Oh, yes. One of the many occasions Odin saw fit to involve me in a wager without my consent. I wish I could say that was the worst of his husbandly habits.
Wager,
I've told this story, brother.
and now she may tell her own.
There isn't that much to tell. I knew nothing of it at first, surely because Odin didn't expect to lose the bet. A mysterious mason had to build the entire wall in 3 turns of the season.
2! It was 2!
And if he was late, he'd be owed nothing. But if he succeeded, he was promised an audience with the queen.
Let this wait. Stay alert.
Что мне искать, бегать? Блядь. Нашел.
I must say, I think you make a good team. With my brains, Kratos' brawn, and my lady's,
Wisdom, magic, ability to tolerate you for long periods of time.
I was going to say brutality.
That works.
Неизвестно, что-то тут есть. Что-то неизвестное здесь есть. Не помню, что. Похуй. Мне уже надоело тут возиться. Ну, с викингом подраться здесь можно, я помню. Но я сейчас на них ложил.
Freya, can we return to your story of Hrimthur? You said if he built Asgard's wall in time, he was promised an audience with you.
Yes. Or so I learned one day when Odin burst into our bedchambers, raging and half drunk before noon, telling me to get dressed and go see what the mason wants. So, off I went, not knowing what had truly been promised or expected. Dagger stashed in my robe for emergency. And this mason, this giant in disguise,
His name was Hrimthur.
he just smiled to see me. And as you said, he whispered in my ear. He said the Aesir had killed his father, and he needed to know that one day they'd burn for it. I pointed out I was Aesir now too, technically. He gave me a look, as if he somehow knew better, and continued. He said he'd built in a structural flaw behind the Asgard Realm Tower.
I knew it! How do we make use of it?
Set that aside for now.
We'll just stop there for now.
We are certain Atreus could not still be in Midgard.
I was just there and found no trace. If Odin invited him, he must have provided a way.
No, that is not the only explanation. Tell me where we find these Norns.
I discovered some of their threads near the frozen lake. I stashed one for spellcrafting, but we may also use it to find them. Just remember, they really don't want to be found.
Well, at least things will be difficult for a change.
We should take your sled and head to the lake.
Midgard. How I've missed the freezing gusts and constant raider attacks.
Well, that's because they believe Kratos is responsible for Fimbulwinter, and that...
Where would they get an idea like that?
From me, of course.
Of course. We should get down to the wolves, brother.
Come. Quiet. She is a friend. Now.
Better they get this from you. Once the wolves have the scent of the Norns, we'll just need to follow their lead.
I will open the gate. whining.
Their fur is matted. When did you last brush them?
They are wolves.
And matted fur leads to disease. Take care of them and they'll take care of you.
Brother, what exactly do you intend to ask the Norns?
How I may find my son. Nothing more.
You don't imagine it's a chance to clear up all this mess about prophecy? Perhaps get a second opinion on your alleged demise.
You didn't tell me you had a death prophecy?
When Atreus and I reached Jotunheim, we found a hidden mural. The giants, they herself, had foreseen our entire journey long ago. Who we would meet, who we would fight. All of it, as it happened.
But you aren't dead.
That image was from a time yet to come.
I see. You've never struck me as someone who fears death. That's not the problem, is it?
No. Death can have me when it earns me.
Then maybe it's not the future that bothers you. Faye sent you on your journey, and she made sure you'd see that image at the end of it. And you're still not sure why.
I wish to speak this no further. Now that we are on the lake, how will we find the Norns?
Watch the wolves closely. See how their heads point the way?
Да понял я. Понял, блядь, убери с подсказки
Well,
эту.
the Lake of Nine has certainly seen better days.
Hold. The wolves are distracted.
Godred!
Да какого?
Raider on the left!
Ого. Я не знал, что у меча есть дальняя атака.
That's all of them.
These were cold raiders. Infamous for
Eating wolves. Atreus and I rescued ours from such an encampment.
kind of you. The cold raiders have been a blight on this land. The way they've abused its creatures. Perhaps we should do something.
Perhaps.
Up to you, brother. If the Norns know the future, no doubt they'll expect us to show up a bit late.
Мне нравится, как волки телепортируются слева направо. Теперь они здесь. Теперь они тут. И все это беспалевно.
Raiders have made themselves quite at home. Not sure I've been back to these parts since our great battle with Secret.
She speaks highly of that fight as well.
You know of that.
She told me all about it when she found me. She believed you could be an ally. Long before I believed it.
The Valkyrie Queen. An ally.
I should have guessed it was Secret helping you recover yourself. She's so loyal, wise, clever.
Doesn't take a love goddess to see where you're coming from.
They bring stone. A dead troll.
Oh, hey, great. You know me and my love of handling the dead.
Все. Они эльфам передадут, что ли, эту книгу?
Can this this lock be opened without damaging the book? The elves in Freya's camp wish to read it.
Oh, a locked book, you say? How mysterious. And an elven lock. Intriguing. If your friends in Vanaheim want it, I'll get it open and pass it along with your regards.
Спасибо.
A lovely couple.
This thread of fate we are tracing.
It's not somebody's life, if that's what you mean. The Norns use it to mark their way when they're outside of the well.
The Norns live in a well.
No. The Well of Earth, their home, is hard to explain. It's in no fixed place. Entrances come and go. A place wholly under their influence, where the intangible becomes tangible. Like being inside your own mind.
But if we go in together, are we in each other's mind? Not so sure I like the sound of that.
Mimir, have you encountered these Norns?
Not personally. Freya's right. He has ways of discouraging visitation. Odin made his share of efforts. Wouldn't talk about what he found. Either he gave up, or he wanted to forget what he saw. Freya, do you mind telling us what you experienced when you sought the Norn last?
The wolves lead us here.
This is the right area, but we can't go further on the sled.
I just hope the Norns are somewhere indoors and warm. Safe to say, no, I have not missed Midgard and Fimbulwinter. Thank you.
We will see soon enough.
Behind you! Incoming!
Something in here is giving it power.
The hilt of a sword.
Brother, I know that sword hilt. Tread carefully. You of all people know how weapons can carry ghosts.
If it does not help us find the Norns, it can wait.
Let's keep looking. This way. I feel a trace of their illusions here. I can try to dispel it. Oh, no. There's nothing here.
A false trail.
I'm afraid so. We'll have to see what else the wolves can find.
Typical Nornish mischief.
They know we're searching. I warned you they wouldn't make it easy.
And what's the hilt of a cursed king have to do with any of it?
Distraction? Coincidence? Who knows? I suppose they'd say we were fated to find it. You were asking about my last visit to the North. Mainly, I remember that nothing could be done to change my son's fate, which only made me more determined to try. What did you find?
A list of provisions needed to prepare a meal.
A recipe? Who left that way out here?
Let's take a look at the ingredients. Perhaps the recipe will lead us to them.
Вот мне делать нечего.
Do they match the ones in that recipe?
I imagine we might find one of those ingredients. Ah, I knew I recognized those initials. The Ballad of Yari and Somar.
I'm not familiar.
An old tale, but a good one nonetheless. The carving marks their passage through this realm. We could always try and find the others if you're curious. Brother, what of your story? You faced the fates of your homeland, yeah? The legends I heard about the ghost of Sparta were surely exaggerated.
Exaggerated?
Oh, not in the brazen bloodshed righteous fury part. The part where it said you travelled back in time itself to win a battle once lost. It's strange credulity, obviously. I mean, a rumour about Thor knocking the world serpent back in history from Ragnarök is one thing.
It is the truth. The threads of fate span all life and time. The Sisters of Fate abused their power. When I challenged them, they threatened to undo my existence. So I killed them and turned their power on Zeus.
That's the most dangerous and irresponsible thing I've ever heard. These Norns have no such magic, nor does anyone in these realms that I've ever seen.
Aye, can you imagine? If it existed, Odin would have it. And if Odin had it, we'd be 5 shades more fucked than we are already.
I would not ask them to change the past, even if they could. I only want information.
And that's quite dangerous enough, in my experience.
Моя самая любимая... Один из самых любимых разговоров.
I see it.
Блять, что так долго-то? Да, сука.
It will pass.
Я что, заблокировал красную атаку?
Trying to remember which god raised her dander up.
It does not matter.
Doesn't it?
If rage is all that remains, the reasons are irrelevant.
Kratos, tell me more of your homeland.
It was violent and cruel.
Sounds no different from these lands.
It was warmer.
That must be Tyr's helmet from his statue.
Win minds, not wars.
Tyr understood the greatest fight of them all was the battle for people's hearts and minds. Too bad Tyr has no interest in doing either these days.
Kratos, Raider encampment.
Take care of them, brother.
Бля. Все?
That is all of them. They still whine.
They can smell more danger.
The wolves fear that which can no longer hurt them.
The horrors of our past can be inextricable from the present. You have to understand that.
Looks to be a sculpture from the southern lands. Now, where have we seen an artifact like that before?
Tears vault.
Зачем вы развернулись?
Isn't that the spear from Tyr's statue?
Wish for peace. Be ready for war.
Oh, that's astute of the elves. Tyr never sought war, but he knew he had to be ready for it.
Aye, best be armed than not. Impressive looking weapon, isn't it?
It is big.
Но тролль чилит там. Ватя Хальгорн. Ватя. Ах ты, Вася, сука!
What now?
Ты чё в труп стреляешь, женщина? Успокойся.
Kratos, tell me of an adversary from your homeland. It will serve us well if I understand more of your battle tactics.
There was Medusa, queen of the Gorgons. Her gaze turned men to stone. A mirror would turn her own powers against her. Or you may remove her head, but that is the hard way.
Which did you choose?
The hard way.
Forget I asked.
Так, ладно, давайте на этом закончим. Продолжим. Получается в субботу. Всем спасибо за просмотр. Ставьте лайк, подписывайтесь. А главное, комментируйте, чтобы я мог с вами общаться. До скорых встреч.